everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you to this year's meeting of the Rosalind Franklin Society, which we started in 1974. It's been a long time, but our goals have been very important to ensure more tenure track positions for women and that they get greater career advancements and prizes for their achievements. Recognition is important, and we've made much progress and we've had a lot of success, but we still have a long way to go. And this year has been particularly hard because women are the ones who are staying home and taking care of their children while the COVID epidemics rage. So this has been harder for women to get to their research labs and do the work that they would like to do. We have a long road still ahead of us. We're making tremendous progress, and I think you're going to find the program that's before you today and tomorrow to be extremely valuable. We welcome your input always. We welcome your participation, and I hope that you stay safe and stay well.
Thank you, Marianne, for the kind introduction. It is a great pleasure to be able to serve as the president of the Rosalind Franklin Society, an important organization that has been addressing and will continue to address the needs and opportunities for women in science and in all spheres of life. It's important in this Lab Leaders and Critical Connections annual conference title and topic to discuss, I think, the opportunities, the options for women that are now opening up, but more importantly, to be informed as to the specific needs and requirements of which we may not be aware as women. That is, from the very beginning of our educational process, girls are not really educated in mathematics, a very fundamental basis of modern technological society. That alone is an obstacle. But furthermore, it's really important as we find that a greater emphasis is on translational science, transferring the discoveries to implementation, and especially in the form of establishing new companies, new endeavors. It's critical to focus on some of the areas that we need to strengthen. For example, the universities are now paying a lot of attention to starting companies and encouraging the discoverers, the faculty and students at the institutions, to think beyond the discovery itself to the implementation, forming a company. One of the requirements the universities should make, since for the most part, the discoveries that have been made have been funded by taxpayer dollars, that there should be a requirement that the companies that have been formed from the discoveries in the universities should have diverse boards of directors. Women, the underrepresented, should be components of those boards. Women should be at least 2 or 3 members of any startup company board, not just a single token representation, but in fact, an appropriate representation with respect to the company and its prospects. Another very powerful obstacle that has to be overcome is the fact that the kind of training that's needed for, let's say, starting a company, that is, knowing how to deal with investors, knowing simple rudiments of business operations, reading spreadsheets, understanding the difference between a simple share and a second round share or a third round share. These are the kinds of information that really needs to be part of the training in translational science, in starting companies, in moving into new endeavors. As we become more involved in the daily life of, let's say, the global world, it's really critical that we now understand that there are opportunities, many and very wide opportunities for women and roles for women to undertake, but that it remains that understanding that the education in science, engineering, and technology is not simply, let's say, for a PhD in science, engineering, and technology, not simply to look for a position in academia, but to understand that it's now possible to really reach out, to be able to participate in the workplace at the same time as the consideration of educating the next generation as a professor at a university. And that another consideration is that it's also necessary in the global workplace to be interdisciplinarily trained, educated, and comfortable. That is, it's not really sufficient to be educated in biology, evolution, molecular biology, but in fact, to have a broader understanding of the subdisciplines of biology, but more to the point, to have an understanding and connection in physics, computational sciences, social and behavioral sciences, especially since the social, behavioral, economic sciences have not been regularly part of the education in a STEM career. But in the global world, of the modern global world, it's really critical to be internationally competitive, to be well-grounded as a scientist, comfortable working in an interdisciplinary world of commerce, academia, and private nonprofit enterprise. So with that introduction, rather sweeping, I am truly delighted that the Rosalind Franklin Society is sponsoring this critical, relevant, timely conference. And I welcome you to this year's annual meeting. Thank you.